What's going on, guys? John here from The Real Talk, finally back with another review for you guys today, and that is for Thor Ragnarok, the highly anticipated 17th installment in the MCU franchise, guys. Obviously, this movie has a huge cast, so I'm not going to go over it, but it is directed by Taika Waititi, guys, and he did The Hunt for the Wilder People and What We Do in the Shadows. And to be honest, guys, coming into this movie, I really liked the first Thor movie. I thought it was really well done and actually was like really much better than I anticipated. Thor: The Dark World, however, it kind of let me down. I watched it recently, I think about like almost a year ago again, or maybe even this year, early this year. And it wasn't as bad as I thought I remember it being, but it still had a lot of negatives. So what was I expecting with this film? Since the trailer dropped, I was really excited for it. Even when I was just learning about the cast, they got Jeff Goldblum, Cate Blanchett, and just a lot of great actors coming into this installment. And also, Mark Ruffalo as Hulk is going to be in this movie. So, and like I said, with the first trailer, I was just really, blown away by the style that I thought I was going to get in this movie. And I'm happy to say that I got that and a little bit more. And as always, this is going to be a spoiler-free review, guys, so don't worry about spoilers. And we're going to start off with the nitpicks. I was going to say negatives, but these are more nitpicks that I have with the film. The first being that the ending for me is a bit too rushed. I feel like the whole movie was, leading up to this. Well, not the final battle, but kind of like after the battle was kind of just like, okay, let's finish it. Also, I felt like some of the characters, one in particular, you kind of could see where his storyline was going to go. And then, like, when the story hit that point, you're like, okay, like I saw that coming like a mile away. But overall, like I did enjoy that character, and so obviously more of the characters too. But you could kind of tell, especially with this one particular character, that like he was there for like this reason, and like he already knew his story and stuff like that, like what he was gonna go through the film, and that's exactly what we got from that character. Also, this movie is really hilarious at some points, but at others, I feel like the jokes kind of didn't land in some parts. And also, like when they were setting up the joke, you could kind of already tell the setup and kind of like what the punchline is going to be. So when it got there, you were kind of just like, whatever. And one of the last things I want to mention is that this movie is an MCU movie. And for me, it still has that MCU effect where it's a great action movie. It's a great, adventure movie, and it's great entertainment and stuff like that, but that's pretty much it. It doesn't go above that, and I feel like that's what's holding the MCU films from being great. They're awesome, they're a fun time at the movies, but that's pretty much it. So with that being said, let's get on to my positives. First and foremost, guys, Taika Waititi, man, he just directed the hell out of this movie. And as soon as I got out of the theater, I tweeted that, this is definitely a Taika Waititi film. I've seen The Hunt for the Wilder People. Is an amazing film. And I haven't seen What We Do in the Shadows, but I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. I heard nothing but great things. But, I mean, this movie had that. What I'm saying is that it had its own personality, and that was Taika Waititi, you know what I'm saying? And kind of like James Gunn with the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Russo brothers for, The Winter Soldier and Civil War. And I feel like Taika Waititi was able to find the right balance of, humor and action, and also, for me, juggling, Thor's storyline, and also kind of making the third installment and kind of like infusing elements of Planet Hulk in that. It was a little bit more than I was expecting, but I loved that. And he just made an incredible, entertaining, fun film, guys, and I had to mention that. Second, I want to talk about the cast. Obviously, Chris Hemsworth, he was just, now I feel like he's just Thor. You know what I'm saying? Like, the first time we saw him, obviously, he was, like, getting into the role. Then he was in the Avengers. I feel like, he was getting a little bit more comfortable. But that being said, I feel like now he's just, like that, he just flips the switch and he's Thor, But also, I want to talk about Tessa Thompson, she was fantastic as Valkyrie. And she's just phenomenal. She's just badass, and she kicks ass. Also, obviously, Mark Ruffalo, for me, like, I'm a big Hulk fan, so it was cool to see Mark back and also Hulk back, and I feel like he did his job. Obviously, the whole cast, I think, did their job. Like Jeff Goldblum was awesome, obviously. And there's also a few cameos that I'm not gonna spoil, but I was kind of surprised, and I don't want to say it took me out of the movie, but it took me for it surprised me, it shocked me. I was like, what the heck? But yeah, overall the cast was great. And to be honest, guys, this movie was a beautiful movie to look at. There was a lot of great shots that I feel like Taika and the cinematographer just were able to get, and they were just gorgeous. They were just great shots, even the little slow motion parts too. The had some great shots, and also the soundtrack and the score to this movie were really great. I feel like this movie had a score, but also just Taika just came in there and he just had his little touches. Like there's little kind of like 80s vibe, or kind of, the synthesizers and stuff like that in the background, kind of like hidden, but they were there. So that with cinematography, obviously I always say they go hand in hand. And with that being said, again, I feel like Taika Waititi was just saying, hey, you know what, this is my movie, so cinematography is going to capture this, the score, this, he was just able to work everything together. And yeah, it was great. Last but not least, I felt like the action, obviously, in this movie was great. There was one thing in particular that I want to mention. I thought, some scenes that they used with Thor's hammer and some things they did with that was really, like, I don't know. I don't think we ever seen that in a Thor film or Avengers film before, and I thought it was just really unique. But just the action in general, obviously the fights with Hulk and stuff like that, and then Thor having... Thor being Thor, and how he fights and stuff like that. Even Valkyrie had some pretty cool fight scenes. I just wanted to mention that, and obviously the end battle is pretty cool too. And there was one person in particular that I didn't think was going to come out in the film very early on, but it was cool to see him there, and also at the end. But yeah, I'm kind of heading to spoiler territory, so that's it. Overall, guys, I really enjoyed this film. I had a lot of fun with it at the theaters. And like I said, everything from Taika Waititi directing the hell out of this movie, from the cast doing great, from the action and the score and everything like that. All that being said, I had to give Thor Ragnarok an 8 out of 10, guys. Usually I tend to give these movies like a 7, 7.5, but I feel like this one was just more unique in itself. It is an MCU film, like I said, but I feel like just everything, there's a lot of... I want to see it again. So with that being said, guys, I would recommend it. And obviously, this is a movie to go watch in theaters. So if you guys have not seen it already, please go out and check it out in I wouldn't say the biggest screen, but definitely check it in Dolby Cinemas if you can. But if you have seen the film already, let me know your thoughts on the comment section down below. And if you guys want to follow me outside of YouTube, you guys can at The Real Talk with 2Ks on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And as always, guys, I'll see you at the movies. Later.